Our next presenter, and I know I'm going to learn a lot about this because it deals with health insurance myths versus facts. And we know there's a lot of misconceptions out there about health insurance. And now with everything happening in the presidential election, there are a lot of questions around health insurance. So this young lady, if you could start making your way up, Andrea Kenneally, she's a small group new sales account executive for Tufts Health Plan. She is responsible for facilitating new business sales for group and insurance plan. And when I asked her about her favorite all-time movie, she said, "Oh my God, I've watched this 3 times over the last 24 hours." And I said, "Wow, you must really like this movie." And she said, "Well, it's Beauty and the Beast. I have a lot of kids." So that's why. Beauty and the Beast.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out today. As he mentioned, I'm Andrea Kenneally. I'm from the sales department of Tufts Health Plan. I work with commercial group business, specifically small groups. So everyone in the room may be a little interested in what I have to say. Just a little bit about Tufts Health Plan. Dean Bushy this morning gave you what our mission is, but it's something that's very near and dear to my heart as well, so I'd like to give it to you again.
Speak up, please.
Speak up a little bit? All right. I've never been told that before. That's a first. So for Tufts Health Plan, our mission, I'd like to reiterate it again, is to improve the health and wellness of the diverse communities we serve. As you can see, Tufts Health Plan can meet you at any walk in life, whether you're looking for commercial needs. Okay. All right, let's do it this way. Whether you're looking for commercial needs for your business, whether you're in the Medicaid or the Medicare population. So literally any walk of life, Tufts Health Plan has a plan for you. As you can see, we can meet you anywhere with access, quality, affordability, and engagement, and we're very proud to be one of the top-rated plans in the nation. So, as Alberto mentioned, there are lots of myths and facts surrounding health insurance right now. A lot of questions. Chances are you've probably had a conversation regarding health insurance for your small business, right? Can you say that? Yes? Show of hands? Yep. Chances are you may have walked away from that conversation with more questions than answers. So what we're going to try and do is debunk some of those myths and give you some useful facts. So myth 1, understanding the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, is impossible. So one thing that we would like to let you know is that in the Affordable Care Act, there actually is not a regulation that says a business with 50 or fewer people has to have group health insurance. So let me say that again. If your business has 50 or fewer full-time equivalents, you are not required by the Affordable Care Act to offer group coverage. However, there is an individual mandate. So if you don't have access to group coverage, you do need to make sure that you are covered somewhere. If you aren't covered somewhere, you may be on the hook for penalties involved in your individual filing of business, of your, of your insurance. I'm sorry, the taxes. So myth 2, I'm healthy and my employees are young and active. We don't need health insurance. Do I really need to offer it? So this goes back into myth 1 a little bit, where we said there isn't a mandate in the Affordable Care Act that does require that you have to offer. However, as I mentioned, I'm in the small group industry. The majority of what I do every day is talk to small businesses who are interested in offering health insurance. They obviously understand that it's an incredible way for them to build a very comprehensive benefit package, because it's not always just about the salary, it's about the benefits. So they know that they need group health insurance to attract and retain great talent to keep them on the books. Obviously, for a small business, you're looking to compete with bigger people. You want to make sure that you have the top talent. So this is a way to help you make sure that you have the best benefit package out there. Another thing to think of is that when you do have group health insurance and your people are covered by that, they're more likely to be healthy, a healthier population. So when they're healthier, what does that mean? They're at work. They're working for you. They're working hard for you. Your absentee levels go down. So it's an incredible way for you to have a great peace of mind knowing that your employees are going to stay healthy and are covered and have one less thing on their mind when they come to work for you every day. Myth 3, health insurance is too complicated and confusing for my employees. And some of you are probably saying, yeah, it is. Well, let me tell you that there are a lot of different resources out there that are no cost to you. Every health insurance carrier has a really great sales team. So at a phone call, you pick up the phone, you call someone like me. I can walk you through any questions. Most health insurance carriers will have that same type of caliber of person. I've worked for Tufts Health Plan just shy of 12 years. So a lot of questions you have, and primarily I've done that with small group. So any questions you have, we can help you vet. Another facet too that you guys might not be aware of is that you can tap into individual brokers and agents at no cost to you. So what you can do with that, a lot of people say, well, I always have this insurance agent or this insurance broker calling me, but I'm a little leery about that. Definitely talk to them. A lot of people say, you know, what's the benefit of me working with a broker? Well, the benefit is that they're going to do a lot of legwork for you. So when you think about going to shop with each one of the carriers, the first thing you're thinking of is, oh my gosh, what do I have to do? I have to call 4 different carriers. I'm gonna get 4 different proposals that look completely different. They're gonna look like they're in a completely foreign language. That's what your broker does for you. They go, they gather the information for you, and they do the due diligence for you. They talk to you, they figure out where you are, and they meet your need. So they're an incredible resource for you. You have a question on how something in your business may be impacted by the Affordable Care Act, by the individual mandate. They can help you with that. We can help you with that. So you are not alone when you have these questions about complicated issues in reference to health insurance. Myth number 4, my business is too small and I don't have enough employees to get health insurance. That is not true, actually. In Massachusetts, if you are incorporated and you do pay state taxes, you are big enough, with at least one employee, you are big enough to have a group coverage, okay? So you could purchase group coverage. A lot of the plans that I work with have around 5 employees enrolling. We have groups that are smaller. We work with intermediary partners, so we can work with any size group. Another thing you may want to speak with your accountant about if you do have a group policy now is that there are tax credits for having a small business plan. If you cover at least 50% of the premiums for your employees, that's excluding the dependents, and you have fewer than 25 employees and their average salary being less than $50,000, you may have the ability to receive some business tax credits. And again, so that's something when you're filing your business taxes, talk to your accountant about. Make sure that you're getting the maximum amount of tax credits for in reference to health insurance. For myth 5, there isn't a health insurance plan that is right for my business. So a common misconception about the the small group market is that there really aren't that many plans for a business. I can tell you that that is not the case. We have a huge portfolio of products that will meet any need for any business. Whether you're trying to look for a really expensive plan to attract or retain, or you're looking for something that's a little on the lower end, we have a plan for you. I know this slide is a little busy, but what we're trying to show you here is that when you're looking at the different health insurance plans in the small group market specifically, there's a heavy regulation, both by the Division of Insurance in Massachusetts as well as the Affordable Care Act. So this market is regulated by both the feds and the state. So what we're trying to show you in this slide is that when you're looking at benefits, your core benefits are gonna run alongside the bottom. So those aren't gonna change for you. So when you're looking at a proposal, you're thinking, oh, does this plan, am I gonna lose physical therapy benefit if I choose one plan or another? Am I gonna lose chiropractic if I choose this one over this one? No, you're not going to. So keep that in mind. That's a nice way for you to kind of take something off of your plate worrying about that. The things that you wanna keep in mind when you're trying to get to a certain pricing point are the levers that you can pull. So those are these arrows. So when you're talking about having a lower cost, you might be thinking about a higher deductible. Talking about a higher cost plan, no deductible. Another thing too is Massachusetts is primarily an HMO state. HMO meaning you have a product where you have a network you work within. You have a primary care physician to move around with that, within that network. We also have PPOs, where you don't need a primary care physician. Typically, those tend to be a little more expensive because you have the ability to move freely within a network and also move outside of that network for coverage. And then the other thing you can take a look at are networks. So cheaper plans usually will have a tiered network where we may have certain providers within the network cost more for accessing services there, or limited networks where you have a smaller network to work within. Obviously, if you have a smaller or a tiered network, you're going to be paying a little bit less for those insurance premiums. We also have the ability for a full network as well. So you can see that there are many levers that you can pull in order to get to the pricing point that you're looking for that meets your needs. I also want to point out too that our marketing team did a great job in the bag there. Everything that I went over is on a wonderful facts and questions sheet. We also have it translated in Spanish for you as well. So it's very useful for you. Everything that I went through, all of the questions and answers are right here. So if you were dazing out while I was talking, you didn't miss anything. It's right here. But so are there any questions that I can field? I know we'll have a big Q&A afterwards, but any quick questions for you guys? Yes.
What is the primary reason, difference between an HMO and a PPO? Because that terms, and I know that it's that an HMO usually is very much live and well here in Massachusetts.
Yes.
But when you have employees in other states, how do I compare that?
That's a wonderful question. So typically speaking, an HMO is going to work for you here in the New England area. So specific to Tufts Health Plan, I'll just use them as an example. Our HMO operates in Massachusetts, all of Rhode Island, and New Hampshire. So if you have employees in that base, they're typically fine with an HMO. If you were to have employees outside of that, we can sell you a PPO too. So we can sell two options a lot of times. So there are size requirements, but if you need a PPO and you have at least 5 people in your group, we can sell you both an HMO and a PPO to satisfy those needs. And then typically an HMO just has the one network and you receive the referrals to move within, and then the PPO would allow you the ability to move outside of that network. But a great question. Yeah, we're there to meet you everywhere you are. Any other questions? Thank you very much for your time, and I wish you well in all your business endeavors.
Thank you.